Hey guys, I'm Corey Arkin coming to you from Comic-Con for Sky TV Online. So, the season finale of Fringe left us with this big cliffhanger where Peter just like ups and disappears. Or does he? Let's see if Josh has something to say about it.
Well, I think the first way that it affects the storylines is that we established at the end of last year that the Fringe events were still happening even without Peter. So we've got to figure out how to explain without the event that we know in our storyline. How did these things come to happen? Why did the two universes get blended into one universe through this bridge? So how did all of the pieces that we know of the story come to be without Peter ever having existed? But then what I think is more importantly is without the character of Peter, who did all of the people that he's interacted with over the course of our 3 years of watching the show, who are they without him? If Walter became more of a functioning human being over the course of the last 3 years because he got to be the father to his son, I think where we'll find Walter this year without his son is the guy who never got fixed. So I think that's where we'll start from, and then we'll see where it goes from there.
We're not going to throw away one of our favorite characters, I don't think. But it'll be interesting to see what the dynamic is when he comes back. If he comes back to a world where we don't know him, and what is that? And it'll be like building relationships all over again from a completely different perspective, which is, I think, really fun and interesting. And so, but I don't quite know really what they're going to do with that. I think that this season there'll be an absolute focus on, and I think last season too with the alternate universe, on the fact that little choices can, alter your life in a huge and dramatic way. And so having never met a person that's been integral to who you are, I think that's a big shift.
And do you think the two universes could ever get along or work together?
Well, I think that's what we're going to look at too. The machine has managed to create this kind of portal where they can cross between, and I think there's going to be a whole lot more interaction, and I think they're going to essentially have to work together.
If Walter came out of the hospital 3 seasons ago and he was sort of still pretty insane, and he didn't have Peter to make him sane or to help him be sane, well, he'd still be insane. So initially, I think we'll see that. He'll still work for Olivia and he'll still be brilliant, but doesn't have that lovely softening element that a family has in love. So that's what we'll see initially. And it's not going to last forever. We can't live without Josh Jackson.
You may see a cross-pollination of cases between the two universes, which will be very interesting.
Peter's disappearance is huge for the whole story. Every character is different, and the very nature of the program is different, just from Nina's point of view. If Peter was never there, Walter doesn't inherit massive dynamic because he won't be able to. He won't have the facility because he's so damaged by the lack of healing from the Peter character. So she now gets to have a much different and probably darker agenda than she's had before. We shall see.